All right, guys, I have a Saturday morning editorial for you. It's coming a little late, but it's Saturday, right? So it's coming out of Michigan, and it's another officer that's been charged. With what? Let's find out. Thank you to CNN.com for the story. A Lowell, Michigan police officer was arraigned Tuesday on assault, misconduct, and weapons charges after he fired at a fleeing vehicle last year, wounding a passenger in the head, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said. In a statement announcing the charges against Officer Jason Diaz in Lowell, Nessel addressed another police-involved shooting, saying there was insufficient evidence to charge Shelby Township police officer Jason Zook in the 2018 fatal shooting of a man with mental health issues in a separate case. Nessel said the two separate public integrity investigations were part of her office's special attention on officer-involved shootings and in-custody deaths. Diaz, a 40-year-old resident of Wyoming, Michigan, pleaded not guilty at an arraignment Tuesday on felony account of assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder, a count of misconduct in office by a public official, and a count of weapons careless discharge causing injury, according to the Attorney General's office.
I'm being charged with a crime. Is that what this is? I'm being charged with a crime?
The three charges carry a combined maximum sentence of 17 years in prison upon conviction, Nessel said. The officer's actions after a high-speed chase through Kent and Ionia counties on August 29, 2020, violated both the law and the Lowell Police Department's use of force policy, according to the Attorney General. The Attorney General's office said it was not releasing the passenger's name or any other information about the shooting. Diaz was arraigned before Magistrate David Worth in Ionia County 64A District Court, where bond was set at $5,000, according to the Attorney General. Diaz bonded out on Tuesday afternoon, according to his attorney. David Willis, Labor Services Director for the Michigan Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council, said in a statement that the charges against Diaz arose out of the lawful performance of his duties. The union statement reads, Officer Diaz will be vigorously defended by Attorney Curtis and the Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council in order to show the public that Officer Diaz acted in the lawful self-defense of himself and those he swore to protect. He acted in accordance with the law, as well as his department policies and his training. Officer Diaz was in fact cleared by his department after an internal investigation was concluded and resumed active patrol duties several weeks ago. Diaz resigned Monday night after learning about the charges against him, said his union-appointed lawyer Mark Curtis, who declined comment beyond the union statement. The union said Officer Jason Diaz, like thousands of other officers, go to work every day in Michigan to protect the public and stop crime. The work they do is hard and requires them to make split-second decisions, whereas other guys get the luxury to second-guess them for months and even years. The statement continued, in this time of intense law enforcement scrutiny, the Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council will ensure that the true facts of this incident become fully known and understood by both the public and the courts. CNN reached out to the Lowell Police Department for comment.
I'm not saying shit.
Separately, Nessel said in her statement that there was insufficient evidence to charge Officer Zook with a crime in the November 3, 2018 police-involved shooting. James Tignanelli, president of the Police Officer Association of Michigan, said Zook has retired from the police force and has no comment at this time. Tignanelli, adding that Zook had been cleared in internal and state police investigations, said, "We are pleased at the decision. We anticipated this outcome." He added, "It's a tough time for officers to do their jobs." Shelby Township Police Chief Robert Shalide declined comment.
I ain't got nothing to say to you, sir.
And then I'm going to put a link to this story in the description box below because it goes on and on about the incident with Zook. You can go read that. It talks about what happened. But some things to talk about here as we look down this story. I mean, Zook was charged in the fatal shooting of a man with mental health issues. Now, I'm not going to judge on Zook. I haven't seen the video. I haven't really read that story in depth. I was more looking at Jason Diaz here. But mental health issues. That's the tipping point right there. Anytime a cop gets called to somebody that has mental health issues, that guy's dead, or at least severely injured. In most cases, because cops don't know how to deal with mental health sickness. They have mental health illness, but no, cops don't know how to deal with people with mental health issues. I just don't get it. Now, this Fraternal Order of Police guy, David Willis, what a joke this guy is. He says the charges against Diaz arose out of the lawful performance of his duties. Really? It's lawful to shoot at passengers in the car? Boy, that passenger's getting away. Well, what about the driver? Isn't the driver the one that's putting you in danger? Not the passengers just sitting there with the seatbelt on going, well, what, somebody's shooting at us. It would be the driver, right? It doesn't say the passenger had a gun. The passenger wasn't charged. The passenger's actually called a victim. Why? Because it's a passenger. But it was lawful. What, to shoot at passengers? When did we start doing that? Unarmed passengers at that. And you say, well, he wasn't shooting at the passenger. Well, then he's a bad shot because he hit the passenger. Or at least it says that the passenger was injured, wounded in the head. I don't know if that means a bullet hit or glass, or it just says wounded in the head. Still, victim. But this Fraternal Order Police, they always try to defend the cop. Well, this cop, he's just doing his job, man, and now he's being crucified. I don't think shooting at passengers in the car is really in your employment scope of duties. I don't know. I haven't had my cocoa yet, so I'm still... Now, it says the cop is looking at 17 years if convicted. If convicted, he'll do 3, and then he'll get 6 years probation. But they said the union went on to say he acted in accordance with the law. I don't think it's lawful to shoot at passengers that are unarmed. I don't think that's lawful. But they said, as well as his department policy. Well, the DA saying, or the Attorney General, one of them, is saying that he could have violated department policy. So who's right, the Attorney General or you? I have to go back and read this again. But, he was cleared by his department in an internal justification and put back out on patrol. But now they're relooking at it and going, no, not so fast. Okay, the boy's got charges coming. And, of course, 3 charges that could put him away for a while. Let's hope he gets convicted. Knock on wood, right? You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers, to include those crazy wild westerners that shoot at passengers in cars and from coast to coast.
As with all our public integrity cases, our investigations are conducted impartially by a team of career prosecutors and agents, and with the knowledge that public officials hold a special position of trust with the public, and thus the public has a keen interest in knowing how and why decisions are made when allegations of wrongdoing arise. I'd like to first remind everyone that a criminal charge is merely an allegation, and defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. First up this morning in 64A District Court in Ionia County, we charged Lowell police officer Jason Diaz with 1 count of assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder, a 10-year felony, 1 count of misconduct in office by a public official, a 5-year felony, 1 count of weapons, careless discharge causing injury, a 2-year high court misdemeanor. These charges stem from allegations that, while on duty, August 29, 2020, and after a high-speed chase through both Kent and Ionia counties, Officer Diaz fired his weapon 8 times at a fleeing vehicle in violation of both the law and Lowell Police Department's use of force policy. It also alleged that one of these shots struck a passenger of the car in the head, causing an injury. Officer Diaz was arraigned this morning. So in closing, let me say this. Last year, I announced that my office would focus special attention on officer-involved shootings and in-custody deaths. These are challenging cases that require a careful and thoughtful review to ensure the trust of the parties involved and the confidence of the larger public in the process that we use. To meet that challenge, we are committed to conducting each review without preconceived notions or predetermined outcomes. Instead, we will reach our conclusions by following the evidence wherever it takes us. Thank you.